Hello and welcome to the SWS Classroom Chat. Joining me live from Jamshedpur now is Miss Daisy Singh, Senior English teacher, and who has been checking a board examiner for the past 15 years. Talking about the ISC English language and the English literature paper for class 12. Now, ma'am, does the approach to class 12 compositions essays differ drastically from the approach of the same student, what he or she was doing in class 10? And if yes, what they should really take care about?
Yes, it does differ. It does. Children are so laid back because in ICSE, they have got an easy 85%, 90% against what their school teachers used to give them. Usually, children who get 60, 65 went on to get a whopping 75, 80, and their confidence level is very high. Believe me, they feel that teachers in plus 2 are same as teachers in class 10 who have been telling them that you must study to get marks, and they feel that they have outdone their teachers, so you don't have to pay attention anymore because they'll get good marks. No, it's wrong, because if you've got an 80 or a 90 in your class 10 examination, it's not necessary you're going to get that, because class 12 examinations are quite different.
Yes. So what are the common mistakes that they make, and what are the things that they should take care of before the examination?
Okay. Composition, they must know that the teacher is going to read every line of what they write. They may have written 400 words as the paper demands. They may write 800 words, they may write 1000 words, but the teacher is expected to read every word and mark all the errors. So they should never exceed their word limit. Otherwise, somehow the length of their composition is very, very dicey, because they lose their marks.
Right.
It's like inversely proportionate to their marks. That way it goes.
Right. So apart from going past their word limit, is it in terms of expression? I mean, do you find obviously a class 12 student is going to write better than a class 10 student? But again, in terms of mistakes, common errors, what are the common errors that students make in class 12?
They are the same. They are the same. We mark them same. Okay. But yes, one thing they need to know, that they have to strictly adhere to what the question demands. If it is a descriptive composition, they have to use all their senses.
Yes.
That you are marked for. Then if it's a narrative, they have to be themselves.
Yes.
They have to be a student. The plausible age. They cannot write as if he's an office goer or an old man sitting by a window. They cannot do all that.
Yes.
Okay, so all that. And argumentative, they must take a side. They cannot be fence sitters. They have to take a side.
Yes.
So
and they don't need to put the counter argument either.
No, they don't have to. They absolutely don't have to.
Right. When it comes to a film review, ma'am, on what basis do they choose a film? It can be any vernacular film, a Hindi or a Tamil or a Bengali film, or does it have to be an English movie?
No, absolutely fine. Any film that they have watched. Any film that they have watched.
Okay. Things like proposal writing, again, more emphasis on the format is what you would suggest?
Yes. A proposal, you need a format.
Yeah.
Proposal, a format is a must. You cannot write a paragraph.
Yeah.
So the introduction and the has to be there.
As far as literature is concerned, of course, now they have to answer 4 marks question, which is, I would say quite a relief from the more bulky answers that they would have written in class 11 or their seniors had written.
No, they are in deep trouble now, because earlier it used to be a 15-mark question or a 6-mark question.
Yes.
And perhaps they would write all that huge answer they would write, and somehow they would get marks. But now it's very pinpointed. Okay. Like what opinion do you form of Basil by the kind of letter he sends? Now it has to be very, very clear. The 2 opinion you form of him, and how do you substantiate that? So 4 marks, 1 mark for 2 marks for each opinion, and 2 marks for how do you substantiate that opinion.
But wouldn't it be easy with a pointed question? Wouldn't it make it easier with a more pointed question?
Children, if they have to be studying very well for that.
Okay.
Every line they have to know for that.
Okay. So in terms of the approach, the last minute approach to revising Tempest, the poems and the stories, Echoes and Reverie, what would you advise the students?
I would just tell them they should not fall back on all these
Summaries.
workbooks and
Yes.
and yes, please don't fall back on workbook. It's just that they should be doing their text very well.
Yeah.
Only their text. They should be just studying their text, both, even class 10. You know what they do towards the end? I don't know what goes wrong with them. They go around looking for all these kind of workbooks and extra books and this book, and then they try to revise. They should not do all that. They must just study the text. That's all.
Yes, right. Lastly, what are the mistakes that you found class 12 students made in their pre-board examinations, which they should be wary of?
Earlier, we used to train them for these long answer questions, 15-mark questions, 6-mark questions, 8-mark questions. They were trained in that manner. But now we see that the questions that the board asks is very, very precise. So that they are losing out on. We had to teach them actually that you have to write precise answers. You can't just beat around the bush and expect to get marks.
Right.
We found that when we were correcting our pre-examination papers, we found that.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your time. I am sure all the students listening to this will find it very useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.